like me and you are somebody whose mind is really active, I'm a highly sensitive person, this is a short practice that you can do before bedtime with a slight guided meditation at the end to help you feel relaxed and get into that rest and digest mode that sets you up for a good deep night's sleep. So you're going to need a bolster. If you don't have one, I recommend getting some pillows. That's really beautiful. So you can just get some pillows or a blanket and roll it up. Pause if you need to. And a block is always helpful, or a book, a big thick book. Or you can do that without. We don't necessarily need it for today. So just pop your props to one side. And we're just going to begin by coming into a comfortable seated position. So you can take the cushion underneath your sit bones, okay, and just settle into this practice today. I want you to just close down your eyes and just take a moment to notice how your breath is feeling and where your breath is most noticeable for you. Without forcing or trying to change it, just simply act compassionately towards that. There's no right or wrong, but just simply listening to the breath. We're going to take a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breath. You may have heard of this before. It's a really beautiful way to get us into that calm state. And you can follow along. I'm going to do counting. I'm going to do some counting variations of it. And then you can do a few rounds on your own and you can shorten or elongate the inhale and the exhale depending on how you're feeling. So I just want you to invite your two peace fingers and place them in the middle of your forehead towards your third eye point. And then you can take your ring finger and place it over the left nostril and your right thumb rather, over the right nostril, okay? Releasing the two here. At any time that you feel your arm hurts, you can just place and hold your arm here, okay? We don't want to feel like we're straining or forcing. Just taking a normal breath in and sighing it out. Releasing anything that you've been carrying from the day. And we're going to breathe in through the right nostril, okay, so opening up through the right thumb and closing through the left with the ring finger. We're going to breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to close the right nostril with the thumb and then open the left nostril and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left, exhale right for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right, exhale left for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I invite you to take a few more rounds of this on your own. If the counting is too much and it's too long, you can simply just inhale, close the right, and exhale through the left, just drawing in for one inhale. But really try to focus on the feeling that you get with the breath in through the nostril and when you're sending that attention there. So just doing 1 or 2 more rounds in your own time. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to come onto our backs to start this practice today. And I invite you just to take yourself into a ball, give yourself a squeeze, move down so you might be able to see me better, and give yourself a big squeeze, compressing the joints in, and perhaps massaging the spine, rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling from one side to the next. And then taking some lovely hip circles, placing the hands on the knees and drawing the knees out towards the outside edges. And then taking it back the other way. Extending both your arms out to either side, we're going to drop the knees over towards the left as our bum shifts over towards the right and our gaze comes over to the right, coming into a supine twist here. If you want to intensify this stretch, you can place your hand on your knee, your left hand on your right knee, and you can slowly, gently push down just to open up, but be mindful if your shoulder blades are rising and back out of it. We're going to be here for 2 to 3 nourishing breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Extending that arm out to the left now, bringing your hips gently and your knees gently over towards the right. Hips go over towards the left. And your gaze can come out to the opposite side, so that's the left hand, and your right hand can go on the top of that left knee rather. If you want to press down to get a little bit more stretch into that, that's absolutely fine. And we're going to be here for 3 breaths. Breathing in and breathing out, really enjoying the breathing, enjoying the stretch. Breathing in, softening into the shoulders, softening into this pose. If you feel yourself holding, clenching, trying, performing, just release it. Just back out of it. And then come through to center now. And gently, without being too active, but more nourishing, we're going to take the backs of our hands to the backs of our thighs. And we're just going to gently rock without like turbo speeding it. We're just going to gently rock. We're going to come up to a lovely position here. So I invite you to take your pillows if you have them, or if you're like me and you love a bolster. Seem to be a bit in love with this bolster at the moment. It's going to be a sad day when it's no longer. Taking your feet just in between this bolster, okay? And we don't want to go to our max capacity. So we're thinking a little bit more along the yin lines here in this flow. We are just being gentle. We're not forcing, okay? So there's no need to feel like you need to engage your core to get deeper. You're going to soften over this. And you can even take your block if you're like, I just want a bit more height. I don't think I'd want to go that low. You can take your block and you can play around with it, okay? And you can just soften over. And we're just going to be in this lovely forward fold. Just enjoying that stretch along the backs of the legs. We're going to be here for around a few minutes. Breathing here. And I talk about like a lot of my flows where it's a somatic practice, is in we're working with how the body feels and the body responds, not how the pose looks, okay? We're working with just gently easing in at all times. Continue to breathe deeply through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Can you shift your breath towards your belly breathing? That natural state of breath that we all were born with, but we actually forget. We forget this. Continuing to fold. You might be able to get a little bit deeper on the exhale, so you can use the exhale just to fold gently deeper without forcing. You might like to actually just maybe rock from side to side, like you are being cradled. Or you might like to give your feet some love just by giving them a nice massage, stroking the feet, showing them some love today. Whatever feels nice and supportive for you. Gently coming up, not rushing. I'm going to take this bolster now for about a little bit longer of this practice, but this is a really lovely variation. It's a twisted variation. So you can bring your legs out towards the right side. Okay, I have to think then. Into this like figure four. So you've got like this figure four deer pose, and your bolster or your cushion can come up towards your right hip. And then you're going to just fold over. Okay, so you're coming into this twisted variation again. You can just be facing, okay, you can be facing that left side, or if you want a bit of depth, you can face the right side. We're just going to be here for a few breaths. Continuing to breathe. Noticing if you're holding and just surrendering yourself to the support of the bolster. Just notice the feelings that are coming up as you almost give yourself a holding and clenching and just surrender. So much of sleep is associated with letting go. And if you're like me, sometimes letting go is so difficult because it's a control thing. Like, we don't want to let go. We want to control how well we get to sleep. But actually, how many times have we not been able to sleep properly because we've been trying to sleep so much? It's like anything in life. The more we hold on, the more we clench and we try and we push, the less we get there. And then we're going to take that up towards the opposite side now. We're around for about a minute. And then we're going to just bring that bolster towards the back again. And then you're going to make that sort of deer pose. I would say like a figure 4-ish kind of movement. So your legs are sort of parallel to the side. And then you're going to bring your left hip, I have to think because I'm the opposite side. And then you're going to surrender yourself. And you can look over towards the right side, or you can look over towards that left side. Whatever feels cool today. So as you try to sleep, I really invite you to focus on your breath, saying to yourself, sleep will come when it is ready. Because when we're forcing, trying, it pushes it further away. Breathing here. And coming up through to the center. We've got one more pose now before we enter Shavasana, and that is one of my personal favorite poses. It's an inversion. If you are on your cycle, it's your choice whether or not you want to do it or not. There's a lot of people who say don't do it, but it's absolutely your choice. So I always do, and I've been fine. But it's just about how your body is feeling. You know your body. So taking your block, or if you have a lovely wall, you can put your legs up against the wall. You can shuffle the back of your your sacrum towards the wall, and use that lovely support of the wall. It's really nice. It's called legs up the wall, hence why we're putting our legs up the wall. Or if you're like me and you have a block, you can take the block on the lowest setting and place it underneath your sacrum, and you can just extend your legs up long. You might need to shuffle with the block just to make sure it's the best feeling. We're going to be here for around 10 long breaths. I'm not going to count these breaths for you, but when you've done that, you can come down to the floor. Just being really mindful when you're in this inversion, if you were in shoulder stand or any inversion, not to like move your head, twist your head, look to either side, but just to keep your head facing up, because you want to protect your neck at all times. You can flex the feet. You might like to even draw some lovely circles, feeling into the ankle joints, and then taking that the other way. Closing down the eyes. Placing a hand on the tummy can help connect you to your breathing better. I might invite you to just notice the blood actually draining downwards. Can you feel that rush sensation from your feet down towards the abdomen and the hip area? This is a lovely pose to do if you have been on your feet all day. Show yourself some love. You might like to just give yourself a nice rub, stroking your legs, saying thank you for actually taking and carrying you through your life. This always helps me sleep so beautifully, this pose. You can build it into your evening routine. Sometimes I just like to go to the wall and stay there for half an hour. And that's such a restorative thing to do. You might feel the tingling sensation in your legs, and in yoga we associate this with something called prana, which is the life force energy, the energy that flows around our body. Hence, pranayama means breath work, and through the breath work, we allow the energy to flow around the body. And often, that tingling sensation is inviting new space, new prana into the parts of the body that have been locked. And as this is a somatic yoga practice, we notice these things more so. If you have done your breaths, please do come down slowly and mindfully, removing that block, and then taking the bolster underneath your knees if you want that, or placing it to one side, coming down into a Shavasana pose. And in this Shavasana pose, I just want you to really be mindful of the parts of your body that you are feeling into as we take this short yoga nidra. Okay, you can take your bolster underneath your knees, palms facing upwards. And I just want you to draw attention to both of your feet, your right foot, your left foot, the bottom of the right leg, the bottom of the left leg, right thigh, back of right thigh, left thigh, back of left thigh. Your awareness now up to your hips, your pelvis, and then your buttocks, your abdomen, the back, the lower back, the middle back, the chest, the top of the chest, the top of the back. And bring your awareness to the right shoulder and all the way down the right arm, bringing that awareness all the way down the right arm, into the right hand, and then all 5 fingers. And then bring your attention up to the left shoulder, down the left side, down the left arm, and the left hand, the left fingers, and then back up, bringing your attention to your throat now, and into your jaw. Release any tension in your jaw. Awareness now to your third eye point, and between the eyebrows, up to your crown. And I want you to send the breath all the way down the body, so breathing all the way down into the toes, and then bringing back up all the way again up to the crown. Taking this complete scan of the body. As you breathe in, you bring the awareness all the way down to the toes, and as you breathe out, you bring the awareness all the way up to the crown of the head. You're going to take this a few more times, and then you can just relax and surrender into your stillness in Shavasana. Keeping yourself in this Shavasana pose for a few more moments, enjoying it, knowing that there's no place to be apart from here. And then rolling over onto whatever side feels called for you today. Whatever side feels called. And coming up into a seated position, keeping the eyes closed. And pressing the palms together, rubbing the hands together, placing them over the eyes. And gently waking the eyes, but not so much. We really want to seal in this practice and we want to keep the energy low and slow so that we feel we can just surrender into our sleep. I really encourage you not to rush to your phones, not to rush to doing something busy, but to just seal in this practice. Perhaps make yourself a nice cup of tea, herbal tea, no caffeine, and just be still. I'd love to know how this practice made you feel and if you enjoyed it. And if you slept well afterwards, that would be great. Please like, follow, share, comment, and I look forward to seeing you in the next flow. Namaste.